Before giving himself a 2,000% raise,
I made myself rich instead of other people.
Before being named as one of Crain's 40 Under 40, a business forum that showcases young talent at just 27, before becoming an entrepreneur and venture capitalist, who was John Cerasani. We've got a huge spotlight on John Cerasani with this episode of Before They Were Famous. He's got millions of dollars, a great smile, and a dream worth sharing. So let's look into him, starting now. John was living his childhood dream of growing up in the Chicago suburbs and playing football. He received an invitation to play on a scholarship for the illustrious University of Notre Dame's football coach Lou Holtz after being named an All-American player for his high school squad. John's friends and family were ecstatic to see him succeed so quickly after high school, especially since he was expected to be the team's starting tight end. Everyone was dressed in Cerasani number 89 hoodies and sweatshirts produced by his incredibly happy father in preparation for the celebration. Then this dream crumbled one day. John got into a physical altercation with another teammate during an off-season event. The opposing teammate's family was not pleased with the coach's lack of consequences despite their reprimands. John was aware that a student would either receive a semester suspension or be dismissed from the school completely under these circumstances. Thankfully, it was just the former, but that meant he had to give up on his dream of performing for the great Lou Holtz, which John now looks back on with tremendous nostalgia as playing for a living legend. Looking back now, I probably should have just served my suspension and returned to Notre Dame the following semester. But as a 19-year-old, you think you know everything. And while I understood that rules needed to be put in place, I didn't feel that the punishment fit the crime. I still don't to this day, 25 plus years later. He spoke on the matter. Still a youthful, bright-eyed teenager, John felt he could handle any challenge. So he made the decision to move to Northwestern University in Illinois. Many were chirping in his ear to move to a university that had a stronger fun factor, such as the University of Miami or the University of Nebraska, which were both well known for having one at the time. John, however, ultimately made the decision to play football at Northwestern University. It cracks me up now because I really got the best of both worlds. If I want people to think I'm good at football, I tell them I played at Notre Dame. If I want them to think I'm smart, I say I went to Northwestern, Cerasani said while laughing. While some might believe that John was through with his dreams of playing for Lou Holtz at Notre Dame, he was not. He soon realized that he would never again be able to play football anywhere. How does a person go from believing they would be selected in the middle of the draft to giving up on their profession completely? John was forced to look for work after suffering an injury. Even though his football aspirations were dashed, John still learned a lot on the field, which he carried over to his first job after graduating from college. His relentlessness on the field helped him develop an unwavering commitment and a feeling of accountability in his personal and professional life. When John started out in business-to-business sales, he felt as though he needed to establish himself. Rather than wallow in self-pity every Sunday while his pals were out enjoying football on national TV, he directed his energies towards doing his best work-related duties. He benefited greatly from this as he advanced professionally and finally founded his own business.
I left my job in corporate America when I was 27 years old.
He draws parallels between the lessons he gained from overcoming hardship on the football pitch and those early years as an entrepreneur. John, like his previous company at the time, concentrated on competing against much larger corporations than his own. Even though he had the will and initiative to accomplish this, his B2B sales environment made him an easy target because bigger rivals were constantly trying to find weaknesses in his value proposition. They'd often try to convince clients that they wouldn't be in good hands with my company because we didn't have many years of experience under our belt, nor the depth to properly service them from a resource standpoint. John explains, "It was my job to overcome these doubts and objections, and slowly but surely, perspectives started believing in us, particularly me and what I was setting out to do." Talk about overcoming adversity. John eventually sold his company to private equity for an undisclosed figure. However, based on what we've seen from him and his social media messaging, one may infer it was a huge payoff. As a venture capitalist, John launched Glencrest Global, where he regularly assesses entrepreneurs and hears their funding pitches. When asked what qualities he looks for in businesses, John responds that he needs the entrepreneurs he chooses to work with to possess a certain amount of tenacity. It's advantageous if they were athletes in the past, since he knows they'll put in a lot of effort and be able to overcome any challenges that come with working in venture capital. John can now think back on his time as a Division I football as he pursues his career as a successful venture entrepreneur. He is aware that these athletes are the subject of myths, all which he is able to refute. People think those guys are there to have a free pass to school and just play football. Critics are often quick to dismiss us as dumb or lazy, but the reality is that many highly cerebral players just happen to be good at football, John said. I noticed this, especially at Northwestern. Those student athletes choosing to go there typically have a degree of prioritization toward academics, or else they would have chosen a more fun school. When John was 27, he had a revelation that changed his life. He became aware of the glaring discrepancy between his contributions and his pay while working in corporate America. I'm bringing about $1 million into the organization. I'm only making $140,000, John recalls. This epiphany inspired him to reconsider his professional path and investigate the opportunities in entrepreneurship. John ended up giving himself a 2,000% raise, something he encourages you to do for yourself too. He now has books, tours, a website, the whole 9 yards. I'm sure he isn't stopping anytime soon. What did you guys think of his story? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're down there, leave us a like and make sure to subscribe too. We hope you have a great day, and peace out.